of it, we are gonna get started. FORTISSIM versus Promo in losers finals. Either Promo or Fort gets to go out of the tournament in a comfy 3rd place and 10 points. But of course, Fort gonna get started with SDPC. Does manage to find the solve for it, not going for the DPC. As a matter of fact, finding the 3rd one afterwards. Very good foresight by Fort. All the while, Promo is sending so much clean to Fort. It's already overwhelming. And the looks of it, Fort is going to clear a lot of T-spins in order to get to that garbage well, which he in fact does, while Promo is continuing the back-to-back, going with that 42.
FORTISSIM is kind of dealing with a lot here. That S placement was not great, but I don't think there was too much that he could do here in the situation. So, Promo takes that first round. FORTISSIM
going with their opener of choice, I will say.
Nice STSD there. Yeah, both players fairly even right now.
I really like Promo
has all
right there. Oh, but
ooh.
Very good down stack recovery by Promo.
Before goes the quad, sacrifices the back-to-back to keep that together.
Promo continuing to go with the 9-0, but it's already too much.
Yeah. FORTISSIM managing to tie it up. Wow.
Did FORTISSIM manage to upset Promo in yesterday's tournament? I will ask. Or is that just OSW or someone else? I don't remember, but FORTISSIM is clearly taking a pretty good momentum against this matchup, while Promo has so much to work with all this clean. Definitely a lot that Fort sent could really benefit him, especially with that counter spike, and that's...
Oh yeah, that's going to be too much for FORTISSIM to handle. Promo taking back the lead here, but I think we were going to be seeing quite a bit of back and forth from these players.
Exactly.
PCO, not quite.
But Fort does manage to power stack a bit of it, but couldn't exactly find the setup for the Kaiden as what FORTISSIM wants, but gonna have to fill in the T-spin 0 in order to clean up to that 8-1 garbage well. Oh, could have just set up for the TST, but I think that might have been greedy for Fort. But now Promo is in complete trouble, and that's gonna kill. Very unfortunate Q. The T just wouldn't exactly let him live for just a bit, a couple pieces longer. Fort still not finding the PC, unfortunately, but that's already enough to send a lot to Promo. But that 9-0 garbage well gonna funnel in a bit with his with this all with the
oh yeah, that's a huge spike. It's FORTISSIM's gonna survive it and find an out. Really good stack for FORTISSIM here. Oh wow, wow, that was a good comeback.
God, the 8 back
and then takes the lead. Oof. Jeez, wow, holy crap!
Seems like Fort's burst damage alongside.
Oh, and there's a PCO, and then here comes the looping. Wow, Promo got caught off guard by that. Promo got caught off guard.
With the extra O DPC afterwards, Fort is really starting to show their strengths all together. Especially like that, finding another one.
It's not gonna work out in the end because Promo's just gonna immediately counter that.
Indeed.
But yeah, you know, I think FORTISSIM's been spending some time in the kitchen.
Is it because of the PCs that he's cooking?
Really cooking something here, especially with that huge 18 spike. Putting Promo at a disadvantage. And another 22! Yeah, like, look at that! Oh my goodness, FORTISSIM.
Promo is really starting to feel very threatened by FORTISSIM's burst and just utter, like, spike potential. Especially with this opener that he's just continuing to go on and on. Promo really needs to do something about it. But Promo does manage to find the mini dono afterwards to really continue that board up. But Promo really likes to
alright, yeah, and Promo getting that reversal.
Just something about Promo's board that it definitely looks fixable at the moment, but Fort is very
close to the top, looking a little... Oh, and those misdrops. Promo could have definitely. I think Promo was about to find an out there, but just misdropped a little too much.
It definitely seems like Fort is looking for a pretty big upset against a player like Promo, who we've seen tons and tons of success in this bracket. Well, not just in the bracket, but just in the qualifier in general. But Promo is really starting to struggle so much with this damage, and Fort is just piling it on more and more. This is not looking good for Promo. Very unfortunate setup by FORTISSIM, clearly looking for a TKI, and Promo's able to capitalize it just a bit, keeping themselves low, but those misdrops, not really enough.
Keeping this going. Yeah, has a nice clean stack. Promo's close to the top, but it's going to be able to find a decent down stack. And look at that spike.
Very good 16 spike by Promo, being able to find the floaty afterwards. He's really going to send himself back onto the ground. But Fort is already sending a back-to-back spike with the multiplier for 20. All the while,
Promo's still attacking very cleanly. Still sending some pretty substantial stuff towards FORTISSIM. Yeah, looks like they're just gonna go. Looks like they're just gonna have a bit of a back and forth here. Except for when Promo sends that huge spike, it's gonna catch FORTISSIM off guard. Promo starting to close that gap now, 7-3.
This is a pretty big opportunity for Promo, being able to keep up the momentum back into his favor while FORTISSIM is still in a pretty drastic lead right there. And Fort is doing mech in losers finals, but misdrops
the Z. Wasn't exactly the best play, but FORTISSIM, I mean, does have a little room for error, but I wouldn't really count on that.
But it was nice to see mech in this kind of bracket. Of course, finding the TKI PC, that is pretty good for Fort. Even finding the mini to continue the back-to-back, but Promo's already sending so much pressure to him. It's just really starting to make Fort slow. Just as much as
that J. Yeah. See, now Promo's gonna catch up. Promo's catching up here now.
Promo is really becoming a lot more threatening in this kind of age. And Fort, of course, going with the opener of choice and that 22 stack afterwards.
Wow, yeah, that's just gonna do it. Wow.
RNG game. Either way, FORTISSIM is going to continue the lead going at 8-5.
Yeah, keeping this lead. There's the STSD. Nice solid 12 spike, keeping that back-to-back going. Currently at 5. Drops it for the double. Ugh.
The dabble. Very good C-spin by Fort 2. Now Promo digs for a bit of a 10 spike, but those two S misdrops already looking pretty bad for Promo.
Oh yeah, that's a bad board. That's a pretty bad board state. FORTISSIM's gonna take it here, 9-5.
That's my favorite board. Either way, FORTISSIM is clearly 4 points ahead of Promo and just doing so much damage to him.
Yeah. Ooh, could have had the Tetris PC had it not been for that single line of garbage.
Very unfortunate. I think that, oh my god, almost kills Fort. And
Fort is still hanging in there. That's a pretty clean stack, but Promo sending another spike is gonna do it.
Promo is slowly starting to creep back into the lead, gonna keep it going, but FORTISSIM really needs to keep that consistency going, especially with the SDPC spin that he's just so power stacking on top of, while Promo couldn't exactly fit in the quad afterwards. Could have had the ice spin, but that would have been a lot of KPP, even for someone like him. Now Fort is looking for what seems to be a bit of a flat and even state, especially with all these lines of garbage that Promo just couldn't stop sending. Promo looks like he could have had the TST set up if it weren't one block short. Now Fort is just playing slowly and comfortably. Does manage to find the T-spin setup. Very good stream watching for them. And the T-spin in foresight, all the while Promo gonna continue the back-to-back going, opening up the garbage while it has to break it, unfortunately, while Fort is going to continue with the 7-2, a bit of power.
Oh, and there's a bit of buffer wide there, and look at that combo. It's gonna be enough for FORTISSIM to take this into match point.
This could be a pretty big upset for Fort compared to Promo, and that's definitely gonna give him
for Promo. For Promo, this is all or nothing right now. Ooh, Imp Cross from Promo.
Promo just has so much
see what happens here.
Very good count to 4-2. Promo's playing so risky right now, even especially with Fort, who continues the back-to-back going and the downstack afterwards. Now both these players in a very similar spot. Both of them clearing them out with quads afterwards. Fort is looking for that mid-game PC, does manage to find it. Couldn't exactly find the second one afterwards, and that might be a very risky play for Fort. 10-7 for Promo.
Promo is starting to catch up here. Is it gonna be enough for Fort? It's gonna be enough for Promo to do? We'll have to see.
Promo is really
Tripping
trying
over
to
my
keep
words
that
there.
LST
Oh,
stack.
and there's a bit of an LST there. Uses the O pieces to kind of just like end it prematurely. But ooh, FORTISSIM2's close to the top.
Oh my god!
Barely gets to that I piece in time. Manages to find an out. Ooh, this board state's looking very scary.
Oh my god,
FORTISSIM
is clearly in danger.
FORTISSIM, yeah.
And that's gonna be it. Fort is gonna move on to grand finals, and Promo is out of the tournament.
Yeah, Promo's gonna be. Yeah. FORTISSIM's gonna take that and is gonna be moving on to face Diao.